It's been 84 years. That's how long it feels since I've been waiting for this Batman figure to come out from InArt. Hey everybody, I'm Graham. Welcome to the Jedi Knights Watch. And yes, today the day has finally come. This thing has taken all year almost to arrive at my doorstep, but thanks to 1/6 Kit, that's where I got mine. It did arrive safely and in very good condition, so thank you, Kit, for sending me this Batman. And yeah, before we get going, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell so you don't miss any new content coming your way. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook as well. And we do have a Discord, so hit me up there. We do have the link in the description below. This box looks great. This it looks a lot like the BVS Superman that I just reviewed. Red box, you know, kind of the same, some of the same stuff going on, like the same themes, I guess, even though it's a different universe, obviously. But the box it's larger. It comes with a lot of stuff, actually. And I do love the presentation of the art box, of the foam inside. And then on the front, it does say the Batman. We have almost like a silhouette of and side profile of the Batman himself. And on the bottom, it has more written words of "I know what I must become." And it's, again, this is going to be from InArt. So this is my third figure from InArt, my second brand new unboxing. And again, I do love the presentation. It does have the magnetic side here, so you can just kind of open up the flap and then you're about to see all the goodness within. A simple art box, but I do like this. It looks good. Nothing to write home about, but at the same time, it's very elegant and sleek. On the inside, you do have another kind of image of the Batman himself, and we do have the instruction manual. I would suggest you take a look at that. There's a lot to learn about this figure, maybe how to put the belt on and stuff like that. And then on the inside here, we do have a thank you letter as well that InArt always includes. And then this like movie, it's almost like a ticket or card type of thing for the Batman. It's got some stuff there on the back. So a nice offering from InArt. It's not something that I'm going to like take out and use, but it's nice to have. Another thing that's nice to have is the foam inserts on all their figures. That I do appreciate very much. Now, everything was individually wrapped, which if you watch my Superman video, it's a bit of a pain. Like, it does take a little bit out of the unboxing process because you do have to unwrap everything that comes in the figure. You know, I appreciate it, you know, being super safe and super secure, but at the same time, would be nice to not have to unwrap everything when I'm opening this guy up. But let's get him out. Let's take a look at the figure. We're going to do it a little bit different today. I want to look at the figure, and I did cheat just a little bit. I did put the belt on before I filmed this, but you're going to have to do that yourself. There is a strap. But looking at this head sculpt, I am blown away. This is a great Robert Pattinson head sculpt. I think, and I know this is a hot take, but I think this is better than the rooted version that they offered us. I'm just more of a fan of sculpted. You don't have to mess with the hair. I still think when it's on the shelf, it looks super realistic, so there's no issues there, and I love the likeness to Pattinson. Overall, I'm blown away by the quality of the figure itself, the detail in the figure. There you can see that's how the belt straps in, so it does kind of loosen. It's a little bit of an annoyance, and things do fall off when handling the figure, so that is a little bit annoying when you know, getting them into poses and doing stuff like that. So let's move on, though. Let's take a look at the bat cowl. This is really nice, too. And I do think this looks more screen accurate than the Hot Toys version. And that one has more of like a bulbous head type of thing. It kind of bows out a little bit. Got some deep scratches here in this head sculpt. And it's amazing, too. We'll take a look later. I want this to be about InArt, but we'll compare with Hot Toys just for a little bit later. But it's amazing how different the head sculpts look, and we'll take a look at that. This is the single eye moving system, but these are really hard to get to, and I think that's maybe why Hot Toys made their sculpt, or their cowl, a little bit bigger so you could get up in there. It is super difficult to move the eyes because you just can't get your finger into that compartment where the single eye moving system is. But overall, really great likeness to Pattinson. And then we do get a empty cowl too, so if you want to have the portrait and then have him holding the cowl, you can. It looks the exact same, a matte finish. The ears, I didn't have a problem with my ears, luckily. I know some people, they were bent in. I think mine look okay. I mean, nothing that I can really notice that looks too bad, so happy that there's no quality control issues with this Batman. And then we do get a couple more face plates as well. Both are somewhat similar. They're both open mouth aggressive, but one is more so than the other. they're okay. I think the one on the left is my least favorite, and then the one on the right is okay, but I really do like the neutral faceplate that came with the figure on the figure, so I'll probably be sticking with that. We have a lot of hands, and we're just gonna have one out here because, you know, this is my least favorite part of the videos, but gotta admit, these gloved hands look really, really good. You got all the wrinkles in the gloves, you got all of the weathering going on, different, like, you got glossy black with matte gray and gunmetal, so lots of good stuff there. Then we take that out. This is where the belt was, and then we get into some more accessories. We have some of these items that can be placed onto the belt, and we'll take a look at that a little bit later too. I believe those are like those like I can't remember what they are, but then we have some canisters as well that can go on the belt. You have one that was on the belt, and then we have two there, and then you get his grappling gun, which is done really nicely too. I like this side of it too, just kind of seeing like the interior workings of the gun itself. So really, really nice there. It is going to be plastic. I think these handcuffs though are die cast. They feel like it. They feel heavy, and they feel like really good quality. So those you can use for posing as well. And then moving on, this is one of my favorite features or accessories of this figure, is this flashlight. I'm not going to turn it on. You know, I'll turn it on for you guys, but I'm not going to have it on or anything. But I do like that we get the flashlight. Just goes really well with the detective feel. When we open it up, you got to be really careful. There's like this bulb here, and you actually just twist it, and then it will turn on like so. So then you twist it on, then screw it back in here. Nice and easy. A little hard to do on camera sometimes, but then yeah, it's a real working flashlight. We got the adrenaline that he shoots into himself here. You get two of those that can go into the belt as well. And then we do have some like grappling gun grapples there, a couple of them, and they're a bit fragile, so be careful. And then we do have the these pieces that can go onto the gauntlet as well. And you do have two batarangs, one somewhat folded and then one, you know, straight out there. I believe those are die cast as well. They do feel heavy, and they feel good in the hand. Lots of good weathering as well. And a really cool part is with the Hot Toys one, we got one of the cards, which was great. But here you get all of the cards, and they're all super authentic to what we saw in the theater. So they all open up. They all have the writing on the inside. And I really like this a lot. It's just a cool thing to have. Again, going with the detective look of this Batman. And you also get the envelopes that they come in. So each one has their own envelope, and they all say "to the Batman." I don't know. This just is something cool. You could like scatter a couple of these on the base, or, you know, have them holding one. Just a lot of stuff you can do. We have a third compartment down here at the bottom, and that's what's going to be housing the base and the cape. I'll take the cape out, but I'm not putting the cape on. I'm going with a custom cape that I got from 1/6 Kit. I have it on my Hot Toys one, and I have it on this one. I just don't like the wired look. It's too crinkly, it's too wrinkled, it's too shiny. I just like the draping cape, and I do wish InArt would have given us a draping cape as well, like they did with the Superman. You got two capes. Really would have been a good touch to have a second cape here. Then we have the base too, which is nice. I like the round feature of it instead of like a rectangle. It's got Batman there on the front, but it's very lightweight, and it has this technology on the bottom, which I'm not a big fan of, but it's just a little simple. It's okay, but it's just a little on the plain end. You do have the magnets here, which you can move, which I'm not a fan of. I think it's gimmicky. I don't think it works really well. I just go with a full magnet top, or don't do it at all and just go with the crotch grabber. I mean, people live in places where they have earthquakes, and maybe it's on the second story of their house, or they have kids that, you know, run around. I just think a crotch grabber has to be some sort of an accessory, but nonetheless, let's get the figure out here on the turntable and take a look at it in all its glory. We do have the cowl put on. We do have the custom cape from 1/6 Kit on. Love how it drapes. Having this be my first look at the figure, I am completely blown away. This looks super, super accurate to the movie. I gotta hand it to InArt. I have not been a believer, honestly, in InArt figures. You know, Superman looks good, but lots of issues there. But this figure, I almost canceled this, and I'm so glad I didn't, because this looks amazing. The cape really helps, but all of the detail in the suit, all of the different variants of grays and blacks, and you can see just the fabric detail, the stitching going on, just a lot of attention to detail going on here. And I really do think this, unfortunately, you know, not unfortunately, but, you know, I'm a Hot Toys fan, and I do think this, though, is a lot better than the Hot Toys offering, and that one was a solid offering, too. So Not bashing that figure at all, but I do think this one is head and shoulders above that one. Let's get them in hand and just take a closer look at some of the stuff that's going on with the figure. And starting with the cape. So here you get a better look at the cape. It doesn't go to the ground, which I kind of like. There's a little bit of discoloration at the bottom, but not much. But I think it just looks natural and it looks really good. It looks good on the shoulders as well, and it just Velcros in. But let's get a look at this head sculpt too, this cowled head sculpt. I love it. I love the shape of it. I love the skin tone seems more realistic on this one. The eyes look good. Just hard to move those eyes, but man, like a little bit of a 5 o'clock shadow going on. I just think the jawline looks really good. In photos, this guy looked super bulky, but in person, he really doesn't. Like, it's weird. But the profile looks good. You get the bat emblem in there as well. You get lots of weathering on every single piece of armor. Nothing is perfect here. You got scratches and paint missing. You got Velcro straps. You got the gauntlets that look really good. And then we have the belt. Everything's very loose on the belt. This is just like one of my nitpicks with this figure. The belt loosens on its own. The pouches can fall off. The canisters can fall off. Got the flashlight there hanging on the back as well. And then you do have the grappling gun there and the side holster too. But yeah, lots of good stitching in the abdomen. The proportions look really good too. We talked about this with Superman. You got to give it to InArt. They're doing their due diligence with these proportions. Everything looks good. You got like padding going on in the legs, split cut boot design. The boots look worn and weathered and, you know, not just one flat color. You got tread there on the bottom. Again, just the attention to detail in this figure. It's blowing me away. And it's weird because we've had a lot of Batman in the past, but I still get excited about this figure. Like, it's still something new, even though we've been talking about this for so long. It's just, when you have it in hand, you see all the zippers and just everything going on. It's there's a lot here to love. And man, this is one too. You could just literally just sit on your shelf like this, do no poses, and it'll look beautiful. And here it looks beautiful, and it's alongside the Hot Toys version. Now, keep in mind, the Hot Toys one, I did do a body adjustment. I took some of the fat suit off, and I did paint a lot of the armor and the cowl a darker black because I wanted him to be more black. He does have the 1/6 kit cape on as well, so they both have the same cape, but you can see the difference in both figures. Like, even in the cowl, like, how different they look. And I really do think the InArt one is just more accurate. Doesn't mean that the Hot Toys one is bad by any means, but you can just see the contrast between the two and how two different companies do things different ways. You know, the belt, I do prefer the belt on the Hot Toys one, but the pouches are a bit bigger. And then even the abdomen area and the stitching is a little bit different as well. And then you can see the boots are pretty much the same. And again, I did paint the boots on the Hot Toys version as well. Again, they both look great, but I do think that this Hot Toys one is better, frankly. Here he is with the Penguin. I just did this review a little bit ago too, so if you missed that, go check that one out too. But yeah, we got Oscob, and they look good together too. I'm going to be doing some sort of like shrine. I don't know how exactly I'm going to do it yet, but it's going to look great. The Bat Bike with the Drifter. This is the Hot Toy sculpt. I didn't put the portrait on the Drifter just because it looks good as is. Like, the Hot Toys one is really good. But here you can see how he stacks up with just the Bat Bike too. They pair well together too, the Hot Toys bike with the InArt Batman. All right, let's get him into some poses and talk about some of the things that I like about the figure and some things, you know, maybe not so much. Starting with the things that I really like, it just looks more realistic, more believable, more accurate to the film. I'm in love with this figure. I love the movie, so like, I wanted to love the Hot Toys one, and I think I did mods to like help me love it more. But this one, I feel like right out of the box, outside of adding the cape, you don't have to do anything with. Also, the head sculpt looks amazing, but not only just the portrait, but also the cowl. Like, it just fits so well. And I do like that sculpted head sculpt better than the rooted. I know a lot of people might not be on board with me on that, but I think this looks super awesome. The craftsmanship is also just outstanding in this figure. The outfit, the accessories, everything is done with care and has a lot of detail, and I can appreciate that. Some things that I didn't like as much, obviously the base. You know, we talked about this with Superman 2. The base is somewhat underwhelming. The magnets aren't great. I do worry about this thing tipping over, and for some people that maybe don't want to have it on a magnetic base, there's no other option. The other thing is we should have gotten a drape cape with the wired cape. The wired capes are still a work in progress. I like to have the option to be able to drape a cape with my figure. It just looks more natural to me, and a little bit more elegant, and I think more realistic. Also, the belt isn't my favorite part of this. I didn't like having to put the belt on. It loosens pretty easily, but then all the stuff hanging on the belt is pretty loose. I do prefer the Hot Toys belt compared to this one, but it works. I mean, as long as you're not futzing with it and handling it a lot, I don't think you're going to have too many issues. Other than that, no other issues. This figure is amazing. It was done very, very well. Congrats to InArt on this figure. If they could just work on getting this out to customers sooner than, what was it, like 6-7 months ago? It's crazy. But I was contemplating canceling this and just keeping the Hot Toys one. But hey, I'm a believer now. This is the first InArt figure that I've actually really liked, and actually I'm blown away. So I'm super in love with this. If you have an option to get this, I would get it. If you have the Hot Toys one and you're happy with that, that's perfectly fine too. But I love this figure, and hopefully you guys love this video. Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that bell. And until next time, stay safe out there, and we'll see you soon.